Welcome to Eddie Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. This is our first official talking, flowing podcast series from Relationship Flow. We did have a little bit of music, and we appreciate the wonderful Adam Fried and Isha Ribo for providing that wonderful accompaniment to open up our series with relationship focus. That's correct. We are now holding in the end of Hanukkah. This is just before New Year's Eve of the year 2019. We're heading into 2020, and there's nothing more important right now as relationships. It's obvious in the world, it's obvious in a daily level, and it's obvious on a personal inner level that people are in pain, people are suffering, people are having struggles. And our goal here is to focus in on not just the unity aspect like we do in our other unified podcast of Inspired Flow, but to focus on the aspect of relationship. This is a big challenge for everyone nowadays. So we're going to go into that now. I want to discuss that flow, and we're going to develop it in a real way. So where are we holding right now? So basically, I'm married 18 years, Mazel Tov. That's from Hanukkah, the second night. It was December the 10th, all those years ago. And in the Jewish calendar, we climax my 7 blessings, 7 days of celebration, actually tonight, tomorrow. So it's very appropriate that we're beginning, after 18 years of marriage, a Relationship Flow podcast. And we invite other people, obviously, to share your insights, your personal journey, your questions. And you can email, I'll put it in the notes underneath, as always. So let's go ahead. What is marriage? What is the idea of relationship? What is the idea of finding a soulmate? What is the idea of just dealing with yourself, relationship with yourself, with your loved ones? You know, nowadays it's complicated. Not everybody has the straightforward, husband-wife scenario, all kinds of single scenarios and other scenarios that, is busy with the world nowadays. As you can look out there, and I'm sure there's loads and loads of advice and guidance. So I can only talk from my personal scenario of being married and having a soulmate. I was many years, on the scene, like running clubs and doing other things. So I do know the other worlds and how things go and flow. And anybody who's, a little bit attached to media or social media or online can get a glimpse of what the world is putting out there as relationship standards. Plus, thank God, there's loads of good podcasts with lots of good advice, like Relationship Theory was something I was following once from Tom Bilyeu and his wife, and other such things. Personally, once again, I'm a spiritual person, and I went on a journey to find my soul and soulmate, and part of that journey was understanding that the way the system was that I was growing up in, of seeing someone pretty and just connecting on a physical level, led me to feel feelings I never felt before. One, a feeling of connection, like in an overwhelming way, and then the feeling of brokenheartedness when it didn't work out, because none of the guidelines were there, nothing was understood in a truly deep way. It was just more physical. What can I get out of this person? Even though deep down maybe there was some more going on, like in that inner need for real connection, but it was completely misunderstood and misplaced all the time, and energy was towards more physical aspects, and it didn't allow us to really bond on a eternal soulmate level. And obviously that ended up in us both cheating on each other and etc. And the whole thing just led to a lot of pain and a personal search for more, for what is the true experience. I personally, after that, and that was like in my, say, 16, 17-year-old teenage years, thank God, I learned this lesson quick. I went to university and traveled a lot, and I just felt like none of the people around, in terms of, women or soulmate, were able to go to that inner level, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to just have a physical connection. There were women, thank God I wasn't an ugly guy. I used to do modeling a little bit, so people were interested in me, and they sought me out as much as I sought them out. But truth is that for about a few years I was just sort of off the market. I was just busy focusing on my inner world and when these kind of things came up, I was like, are you real? Is this, eternal? Is this something with responsibilities? And, that's the concept of marriage really on a deep level. Like, is this a yichud? Is this a unification? Is this something we're going to be bound together, not just like this one night stand, but an eternal experience? Are you that person? And look into the eyes of that person and don't quite see it, don't feel that. And, maybe in dating, that could be something people can look for, that soul connection. Maybe that's a little bit too high level or deep for some people, but definitely for me, that was what, was pushing me in my search. And even like people brought to me in university letters from girls who were interested. We didn't have email and Facebook so much those days. I mean, Facebook for sure not, but email was very minimal. So it was just like letters, real written letters of connection, and I just was not interested. And thank God I lost my phone, so I only had like 1 or 2 phone numbers, and one of them was my soulmate to be, who I'd become very close with as a friend, and it was completely platonic and just friendship based. And that was what for me was like the deeper connection I was looking for. So once I came to Israel and started developing myself spiritually and felt this need to find that soulmate really strongly, so then she was here, thank God, and is doing the same kind of thing as me. That was obviously part of our journey together. And I do feel that on a deep level, if a person really is doing their personal mission, and this is based on a deep idea from Rabbi Nachman from Breslov, but the idea of it's a deep concept, but it's a Torah and Tanina and it's Sod Elo. It's a very deep concept, and Derech Yam is the idea, the name in Hebrew. But it's basically going through your journey, and the more your person journeys towards their truth and their purpose and their soul mission, the more their other half, their soulmate, goes towards that personal mission, and therefore you can really join together on that. Because the more I was finding my soul and connecting to myself, the more so was my wife to be my soulmate. And I believe throughout marriage, that's really how deep it goes. Throughout your journey in this world, the more you're doing your mission, your soul purpose, then the more your other half also does. And this is a very deep foundation of what relationship flow should be about. Everything we're going to discuss. Obviously, there's a sense of humor side of it, the whole man-woman thing, how funny it is, and, like the way, like, we're so different. And like it says in the Torah as well, we're two different nations trying to join together is not so easy. And there's lots of fun and games as well, and deep ideas and practical ideas and jokes, and that's just the part of the healthy picture that a person needs to form. And also there's the opportunities to have that relationship time, like we did the other day with the music I put on this podcast to open it, the power of sitting with your wife or your soulmate and a positive experience in music that's been throughout your marriage, and celebrating your marriage and celebrating this year that was, and just enjoying and looking forward towards the 2020 flow of inspired flow and relationship flow and becoming truly who you are. Also with Emunah Torah, I have that other podcast, and I recommend people going there. There's a lot of deep ideas that we're sharing over there too from Breast of Israel, and I really appreciate everybody who tunes in. I want you to share this. I want you to give your ideas, and I'll end off so personally my wife and I, we were in yeshiva seminary, which is a specific kind of lifestyle program in Israel, finding ourselves, our traditional past, and learning very deep concepts, deep ideas, finding ourselves. And personally, I kept myself away from all other experiences in terms of social media and women. I just had a time period of, it's not aesthetics, but just self-development. And I wouldn't even really connect to my best friend, who was going to be my wife at that time, because I just felt like I needed to just really focus. And I sent her an apology for that, and in a form of a book and a letter, and it was all about judging favorably and all that kind of thing. And then we saw each other a few times by the Western Wall, by the holiest place, and I sort of smiled, but I wanted to feel it would be the right time. So when the right time came, which was in the summer, and I really felt that this was the time, it was we're having a Shabbos together with her family, and I decided to open up my feelings about this idea that maybe we're soulmates. And it was a very powerful, profound experience. As the more brought a lot of tears out from her and myself, and I played music and sang, and there was a lot of soul connection, and it was very beautiful. We went on dates in Jerusalem. At that time, it was more a simple place, So a little bit of wildness came after we got married, but in terms of the intifada, but it was before that whole time period. It was a bit more simple, and there was a bit more room for like just flowing, and it was just a powerful time. So I thankfully dated my wife, and it was obvious that I was going to marry her, and that bond has continued 18 years later. Not saying it's easy, and we'll discuss that, how we do have personalities that are different and all kinds of things. It's not just that this spiritual force solves all your problems. You've got to, part of the whole reality is there's this deep revelation of what's true and what you are, but now it's about putting it into practical. So that's going to be much of what we're going to discuss in relationship flow. And if you didn't get that deep revelation, even if it was on some level, or at least a minimal level, enough to know that that's the other person you're willing to go through this journey with, then hopefully that revelation can come in other ways throughout the marriage, because it does come, and there's moments of, wow, this is so much my soulmate. All the things that that we're working on is things I need to really work on and grow, become the best I can be. And all the things she's different to me is what I need to work on anyway. And the opposites, and all the things she's into is really things we can connect on to also. And we make decisions together and journey together. There's a lot of opportunity to discuss and grow and all these kind of points. So since this is the first one, we're going to keep it short, and hopefully all the classes will be somewhat short, and it will be hopefully please going on a weekly level around this time of week, the beginning of the week, just to clarify a little bit more the relationship focus. And we'll please God to keep up the Unity Inspired projects together, and the Inspired Flow podcast, and all the other things we're doing. And we'll hear from you once again in the notes. You can connect anytime and join on. And I appreciate everybody's love and time, and wishing everybody a beautiful new 2020 renewed relationship flow.